Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's update on potential Tropical Cyclone 4. So, potential Tropical Cyclone 4 is currently situated over central Cuba, and as of 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Friday, August the 2nd, potential Tropical Cyclone 4 has maximum sustained winds of 30 miles per hour, a minimum central pressure of 1,010 millibars, and is moving west-northwest at 16 miles per hour. Taking a look at the latest cone for potential Tropical Cyclone 4, potential Tropical Cyclone 4 is going to move north of Cuba as we go into 1 a.m. tonight as a 30-mile-per-hour tropical depression with 40-mile-per-hour gusts moving to the northwest. Potential Tropical Cyclone 4 will approach the Florida Keys tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m., as a 35-mile-per-hour tropical depression with 45-mile-per-hour gusts moving to the north-northwest. And we're expecting Tropical Storm Debby as we go into 1 a.m. Saturday morning as a 40-mile-per-hour tropical storm with 50-mile-per-hour gusts moving to the north. Future Debby is going to move just west of Tampa by about 50 miles going to 1 p.m. Sunday afternoon with 50-mile-per-hour winds and 65-miles-per-hour gusts moving to the north-northeast. And then we're expecting a landfall somewhere in the Big Bend of Florida sometime Sunday night, early Monday morning, as a 65-mile-per-hour tropical storm with 75-mile-per-hour gusts moving to the northeast. And I wouldn't rule out a borderline Category 1 hurricane, as rapid intensification could occur due to extremely warm sea surface temperatures just off the coast of Florida in the Big Bend. Then going into 1 p.m. Monday afternoon, looking at a 45-mile-per-hour tropical storm with 60-mile-per-hour gusts moving to the northeast, just west of Brunswick and St. Mary's, Georgia. And then future Debby could go very close to Charleston, South Carolina, as we go into 1 p.m. Tuesday afternoon with a 50-mile-per-hour tropical storm, 65-mile-per-hour gusts moving to the northeast, so re-strengthening just a little bit as it moves back over water. And then as we go into 1 p.m. Wednesday afternoon, looking at a 65-mile-per-hour tropical storm with 75-mile-per-hour gusts moving to the northeast, just east of Wilmington, North Carolina. So if you live anywhere in this cone, especially across central northern Florida, central eastern Georgia, the Carolinas, Virginia, and the Delmarva, make sure you're really closely monitoring potential Tropical Cyclone 4, as this could move within and pretty much anywhere within this cone over the next 2 to 6 days. We already have tropical storm watches in effect for the Florida Keys, the South Central Everglades, tropical storm warnings for the Western Everglades through Naples and Cape Coral, as well as storm surge watches which extend through Tampa Bay into the Big Bend of Florida, and tropical storm watches into Central Florida as well. Taking a look at the key messages for potential Tropical Cyclone 4, heavy rainfall may result in flash and urban flooding across portions of Florida and the coastal areas of the southeast this weekend through Wednesday morning. Isolated river flooding will also be possible. Tropical storm conditions are expected Saturday night within the tropical storm warning area in southwest Florida from East Cape Sable through Boca Grande. Tropical storm conditions are possible in the Florida Keys on Saturday and along the Florida west coast north of Boca Grande to the Swanee River Saturday night and Sunday, where a tropical storm watch is in effect. There is a possibility of life-threatening inundation from storm surge along portions of the west coast of Florida from Bonita Beach to Swanee River, including Tampa Bay and Charlotte Harbor, where a storm surge watch is in effect. Impacts from storm surge, strong winds, and heavy rains are possible elsewhere in Florida and along the southeast coast of the United States from Georgia to North Carolina through the middle of next week, and interest in those areas should continue to monitor the progress of the system. Additional watches and warnings will likely be required later tonight and on Saturday. So taking a look at the latest rainfall forecast from the Weather Prediction Center, we're expecting a lot of rain from future Tropical Storm Debby, looking at a good 1 to 2 inches of rain across the western Florida Panhandle through central Georgia and western areas of the Carolinas in the light green shaded areas, looking at a good 2 to 4 inches of rain across north central Florida, southeast Georgia, the central Carolinas in the dark green. This includes areas like Tallahassee, Florida, Augusta, Georgia, Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, and Hatteras, North Carolina, And then as we move into these yellow shaded areas, we're looking at a good 4 to 6 inches of rain, including Miami through Orlando, Jacksonville, Florida, Savannah, Georgia. And then as we go into this light orange shaded area across western Florida and the coastal areas of Georgia and the Carolinas, we could be seeing as much as 6 to 8 inches of rain. And this includes Charleston, South Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, and Tampa Bay, Florida. And then we have this area of 8 to 12 inches of rain just offshore of the Carolinas and southwestern Florida. And if we see any wobbles in the track, which is very possible over the next several days, we could be seeing 8 to 12 inches of rain in coastal areas of the Carolinas or even southwestern Florida. So this is going to be, unfortunately, a major flooding concern for Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas as Debby moves through. Taking a look at our preliminary storm surge forecast, we're looking at 2 to 4 feet of storm surge from the Suwannee River through Tampa Bay through Charlotte Harbor, and then about 1 to 3 feet of storm surge from Bonita Beach through Card Sound Bridge in southwestern Florida. And taking a look at our spaghetti model guidance for potential Tropical Cyclone 4 in the next 24 hours, this is going to move just southwest of the Florida Keys in the next 48 hours, over or just west of Tampa Bay and the city of Tampa in the next 72 hours across southeastern Georgia, and in the next 96 to 120 hours across the coast of the Carolinas. And even if you live across New England, the Delmarva, don't sleep on future Debby, as future Debby could move near the Delmarva and even Cape Cod and New England as we go into the next 6 to 7 days. And taking a look at our intensity model guidance for potential Tropical Cyclone 4, we're expecting anywhere from a low-grade tropical storm, but more likely a mid to high-grade tropical storm in the next 48 hours before making landfall near Tampa, Florida, or in the Big Bend. Couple models taking it to that Category 1 hurricane status, anticipating those very warm ocean temperatures, sea surface temperatures. And then as Debby moves onshore, looking at a slight weakening to a weak tropical storm, but as it reemerges over the Atlantic Ocean off the Carolina coast, could be seeing a re-strengthening to a mid-grade tropical storm during the next 96 to 120 hours or the next 4 to 5 days. So I'm going to continue to monitor potential Tropical Cyclone 4 over the next several days, as we're likely going to be seeing impacts across Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas, especially in the form of flooding rainfall over the next 3 to 5 days. Thanks for watching this evening's update on Tropical Storm or potential Tropical Cyclone 4. Please stay safe and have a wonderful evening, my friends.